Math. Question 1. Cylindrical logs of length 2.2 meters and radius 7.6 centimeters are used to construct a fence line. Part of the logs are removed as illustrated in the diagram below. Find the volume of each log. So you're going to write A equals, draw fraction line, put theta on top and 360 on the bottom. And next to it, write pi r squared. Okay, A equals theta divided by 360 times pi times r squared. Now below it, write equals, fraction line. On the top, write 360 minus 60. Below it, write 360. And then next to it, write pi, bracket, 7.6 squared, bracket closed. Okay, so this part is 360 minus 60 over 360. Vurusun pi, bracket 7.6 squared, bracket closed. Aşağıya yazarsan beraberdi 300 over 360. Yanına pi yaz, and then again bracket 7.6 squared, bracket closed. In the beraber işaresinin əvəzinə you're going to draw a wiggly. Beraber yazarsan 151.2 151.2 centimeter squared. 151.2 centimeters squared. Okay. And then below it, you're going to write V, beraber de capital A, vurulsun L. Beraber de 151.2 vurulsun 220. So equals 151.2 times 220. And below it, with the wiggly line again, you're going to write 33,300 centimeter cubed. So 33300. Okay, question 2. A health study was conducted on 8 male participants, measuring their average daily sugar intake in grams and their body fat percentage. This data were used to determine whether sugar intake influences male body fat levels. The results were shown in the table. Okay, A1, the first part. You're going to write X with a line on top of it, which shows like the mean, right? Beraber is 65.5. 65.5. Below it, part 2, the same thing but for Y, the line on top of it, which shows the mean of the Y. Beraber de 21. Make sure next to both of these you write in bracket by using GDC, the graphing calculator thingy. Okay, so part 1 of A was 65.5, part 2 was 21, part 3 is R wiggly beraber işaresi 0.972. Right, by using GDC next to it as well. you're gonna write B, part 1, right? You're gonna write y equals 0.238x plus 5.4. So y equals 0.238x plus 5.4. And then you're going to write, therefore, m equals 0.238 and c equals 5.4. For part 2, you're going to write substituting, write the mean of x and mean of y into the equation of the regression line. Substituting the mean of x and mean of y into the equation of the regression line. Substituting mean of x and mean of y into the equation of the regression line. You're going to write 21 equals 0.238, then bracket 65.5, bracket closed, plus 5.4. You're going to write 21 under, you're going to write 21 equals 21. And below it, you're going to write the point, capital M, bracket 65.5, virgul 21, bracket closed, lies on the regression line. The point M, 65.521, lies on the regression line. Okay, now C, part 1. You're going to write substituting x equals to 32 into the equation of the regression line. Substituting x equals 32 into the equation of the regression line. Okay, you're going to write y equals 0.238, bracket 32, bracket closed, plus 5.4. Then under it, write the wiggly equal sign and write 13%. Okay, for part 2, you're going to write, it is valid to use the regression line to estimate Daniel's body fat percentage. To estimate Daniel's body fat percentage as x equals 32, is within the data range. Bracket içinde yazarsan 24, 120. Bracket closed. I'm going to repeat again. It is valid to use the regression line to estimate Daniel's body fat percentage as x equals 32 is within the data range 24 and 120. Part D. You're going to write percentage error equals then draw a module line, which is like a vertical line, and then draw a fraction line. Okay, on the top, write V, capital V, and a little bit under it, write capital A. minus capital V, under it E, capital E. And then under the fraction line on the bottom part, write V with an E. Close the module, times 100. Okay, so percentage, and then down below it, you're going to write equals module, fraction line. On the top, it's 13 minus 12, and below it, it's 12. And close the module, times 100. Below it, do a squiggly equal sign. 8.33%. Question 4. Laura's school is holding an outdoor activity celebration event for its 20th anniversary. Laura decides to participate in the best striker football game. Okay, wait, never mind, that was question 3. That was 3, okay, not 4. I don't know if I said 4 or not. Okay, this is question 3. The Laura one is question 3. Okay, for A, what you're gonna write is part A, okay. It says find the exact value of P. You're gonna write 3 over 12 plus 1 over 12 plus 4 over 12 plus 2 over 12 plus 1 over 12. Plus P. Let me say the entire thing again. 3 over 12 plus 1 over 12 plus 4 over 12 plus 2 over 12 plus P plus 1 over 12 equals 1. Then you're going to write P equals 1 minus 11 over 12. P equals 1 over 12. So P equals 1 minus 11 over 12. P equals 1 over 12. Okay, for B now, where you're going to write is capital E, and in a bracket write small x. Close the bracket, equals -3. Open a new bracket, -3 times 3 over 12. Close the bracket. Plus plus bracket, -1 times 1 over 12, bracket closed, plus bracket 0 times 4 over 12, bracket closed, plus bracket 1 times 2 over 12, bracket closed, plus bracket 2 times 1 over 12, bracket closed, plus bracket 4 times 1 over 12, bracket closed. The answer is -1 over 6. Okay, for part C, it says find the probability that she has a total score of 5 after 2 rounds. So, remember the thing you did where you had to add up all of their stuff, right? So, on the top part, okay, write the part C, right? And next to it, like a little bit further down the line, right? Write first shot. And vertically, write second shot. And then put the numbers in. The numbers are, right, -3, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 4. So -3, -1, 0, 1, 2, 4. This is for all of them, okay? Like both sides. And then just add up the squares by yourself. Like add it up. like, just do the sum. So for example, there's -3 there and -3 here, and if you connect it, it's -6. Do this for all of them. I'm going to give you a few minutes, okay? Fill up the entire table. Okay, I'm gonna guess that you finished. I'm gonna read them all horizontally, okay? The first line, -6, -4, -3, -2, -1, 1. Second line, -4, -2, -1, 0, -2, 3. Third line, -3, -1, 0, 1, 2, 4. Next line, -2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Last row, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Circle the 5s, there should be 2. Okay, in the bottom, next to it, you're going to write PR, capital P, small r. Okay, so capital P, R, and then bracket, total score of 5, bracket closed. Total score of 5 equals 2 times PR, bracket x equals 1, bracket closed, times PR, bracket x equals 4, bracket closed. Can we repeat it again? PR, total score of 5, equals 2 times PR, x equals 1 times PR, x equals 4. Below it, you're going to write 2 times 2 over 12 times 1 over 12. 2 times 2 over 12 times 1 over 12. And then a wiggly equal sign, 0.0278. 0.0278. Okay, now next one. Now this is question 4. Okay, you're gonna write for A. Okay, so Charles has a new. Okay, this is what the question is. Charles has a New Year resolution that he wants to be able to complete 100 push-ups in one go without a break. A. Write down the number of push-ups Charles completes part A on the 4th training day. Okay, so A, you're gonna write U1 equals 20. U1 equals 20, comma, D equals 5. U1 equals 20, D equals 5. Okay, now you're going to write part 1. UN, U is small n below it, equals U1 plus bracket n minus 1, bracket closed, 5. So UN plus, equals U1 plus n minus 1 times 5. Now below it, you're going to write U4. 4 is in the place of n, equals 20 plus bracket 4 minus 1, bracket closed, 5 equals 35. 35 is the answer for part 1. Part 2. You're going to write UN equals U1 plus bracket n minus 1, bracket closed, D. Bjarke formula. Then you're going to write UN. Below it, you're going to write UN equals 20 plus bracket n minus 1, bracket closed, 5. And then below it, you're going to write equals 20 plus 5, bracket n minus 1, bracket closed. Okay, now part B. It says find the value of K. You're going to write U and then K in the small little below area where n usually goes. So UK equals 100. And then below it, you're going to write 100 equals 20 plus 5, bracket K minus 1, bracket closed. Below it, you're going to write K equals 17. Okay, now part C. Calculate the total number of push-ups Charles completes on the first 10 training days. You're going to write S, capital S, and below it N, equals N over 2, N over 2, bracket 2 U1 plus bracket N minus 1, bracket closed, D, bracket closed. So Sn equals n over 2, bracket 2 U1 plus n minus 1 D, bracket. Okay, now below it, you're going to write S10 equals 10 over 5, bracket 2 times 2, bracket 20, bracket closed, plus 10 minus 1, bracket closed, 5, bracket closed. So 10 over 2, 2 times 20 basically, plus the 10 minus 1, 5. Below it, you're going to write equals 425. For D, you're going to write geometric sequence. Geometric sequence. U1 equals 10,000. U1 equals 10,000. R equals 1.1. Below it, you're going to write UN equals U1 R, and above R, like the power is n minus 1. Below it, you're going to write U6 equals 10,000 bracket 1.1 bracket closed power 6 minus 1. Okay, so U6 equals 10,000 bracket 1.1 bracket closed, power is 6 minus 1 equals 16105.1. 16105.1. 16105.1. Below it, you write a squiggly line, extra, like equal sign, and write 16100 m, 16,100 meters. Okay, now part E. You're gonna write sum of n terms formula, colon. Sum of n terms formula. Below it, you're gonna write Sn equals, draw a fractional line. Top right, U1 bracket R power n. And then minus 1 is like the same area as R is, so only n is on the power. Then write bracket closed after minus 1. Below it, write R minus 1. So basically, I'm going to say it again. Sn equals U1 R power n minus 1. And then below R minus 1. Okay, now below, write S12 equals 10,000. S12 equals 10,000. Bracket 1.1 power 12. 1.1 power 12. And the same level as 1.1, you're going to write minus 1. Bracket closed, and then draw the fractional line, and then below it, the thing I just said should be on the top, and below it should be 1.1 minus 1. 1.1 minus 1 on the bottom. And then equals 2, 1, 3, 8, 4, 2.84. So equals 21384.2.84. Wiggly equal sign 21. 2, 1, 4, 000 m. 214,000 m. Okay, now that was part E. Now we're going to move on to question 5. The number of French words, n, that are remembered by students after the completion of a French language course decreases exponentially over time. This data can be modeled by the function blah, 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 blah. Alright, for A, what you're going to write is capital N, bracket 0, bracket closed, equals 4,200. 4,200. And then next to it, you're going to write 4a greater than 0. So n bracket 0 bracket close equals 4,200 for a greater than 0. If you don't know what a greater than 0 is, it's the two angle thingy is like towards or towards a. So it's like left. Okay. Below it, you're gonna write a times b power 0 minus 0. So a times b power minus 0. And same level as we're writing the normal writings, you're gonna write plus 450 equals 4,200. I'm gonna say it again. A times b power negative 0 plus 450 equals 4,200. Below it, you're gonna write a plus 450 equals 4,200. A plus 450 equals 4,200. A equals, below it, write A equals 3750. 3750. Okay, now for B, what you're gonna write is capital N, bracket 4, bracket closed, equals 1,600. 1,600 for 4, not the number 4, like the word 4, F-O-R. B greater than 0. B greater than 0. Below it, you're going to write 3750 times 3750 times b power negative 4 plus 450 equals 1,600. So 3,750 times b power minus 4 plus 450 I'm going to say that again. 3,750 times b power negative 4 plus 450 equals 1,600. Below it, you're going to write b squiggly line equal 1.34. Now part C, you're going to write y equals capital N bracket T bracket closed. A small t, by the way. Now for the word for, T is greater or and equal to 0. Next to it, write by using GDC. Make sure you write this for part B as well. I'm gonna give you like 15 seconds. Okay, so I'm guessing you already wrote part B and part C. You wrote by using GDC. Okay, so the C part was y equals nt for t greater and equal to 0. Now you're gonna draw a graph thingy. Okay, draw the y-axis and the x and the x-axis, and label it as y and t. So t should be in the way of x. Okay, Once you've done that, on the y-axis, on the top area, you're gonna draw a little dash that marks the area of 4,200. So on the y-axis, 4,200, a little top, like kind of top, yeah. And then right near the bottom, like really near the bottom, you're gonna write 450 and do a little dash to show it's the marked area. And then from 450, that's on the y-axis, you're going to draw a horizontal dash until the end of the x-axis. And then on the x-axis, you're going to draw, in the middle, you're going to draw a 10. And then the same amount of distance after, you're going to draw a 20. Once you did that, you're gonna draw like a graphing thing on it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start from 4,200, bring it all the way down until you reach the dashed area where it has a 10. And then you're gonna draw it straight on the dashed line until the end. And on the graph, where you're gonna write is where it started from 4,200 down to the curving slope thingy. You're gonna draw an arrow to that, and you're gonna write y equals 3750 vurulsun bracket 1.34 bracket closed power of t plus 450. So I'm going to say that again. Y equals 3750 times 1.34 power minus t plus 450. Now draw an arrow to the dashed line. This is y equals 450. And then under it, write n equals 450. Question 6. The quadrilateral ABCD shown below represents sports complex. For A, it says find the length of the path AC. You're going to write AC, capital AC squared equals capital AB squared plus capital BC squared minus 2 bracket capital AB bracket closed bracket BC bracket closed cosine bracket A B C, they're all in capital bracket closed. And on the cosine ABC one that we just wrote, on the B, do a little arrowhead that points up. I'm going to repeat it all again, okay? AC squared equals AB squared plus BC squared minus 2 times AB times BC times cosine ABC. Okay, below right equals 210 squared plus 210 squared plus 90 squared minus 2 bracket 210 bracket closed bracket 90 bracket closed cosine bracket 70, bracket closed. So I'm going to say it again. So equals 210 squared plus 90 squared minus 2 times 210 times 90 cosine 70 below it, right, equals 392.6. 39271.6. And then below you're going to write AC, the wiggly equal thingy, 198 m, 198 meters. B, you're going to write 130 divided by sine bracket DAC, all in capital letters, and A on A1, put like the same pointy thing that points up, arrow thingy. Oh, this is in a fraction, by the way, so 130 is on top and sine DAC is on bottom, equals another fractional line, 198 on top, and sine 105 degree on the bottom. So 198 divided by sine 105 degree. Then below it you're going to write DAC with the wiggly with the wiggly equal thing, 39.4 degree. Don't forget to put the degree symbol. And on DAS, right, on the A put the arrow thing. So it's equal 39.4. And next to it, right, by using GDC. Part C, you're gonna write ACDC no, scratch that, ACD, and on top of C there's the line thingy that points up, arrow. Okay, so ACD equals 180 degrees minus 105 degrees minus 39.4 degrees. So ACD equals 180 degrees minus 105 degrees minus 39.4 degrees. And then do like a little wiggly equal sign, 35.6 degrees. Okay, below it you're gonna write area equals 1/2 bracket capital AB bracket closed, bracket BC bracket closed, sine bracket ABC. The B has the pointy thing on top. And then close it, the bracket, plus 1/2 bracket AC bracket closed, bracket open, CD bracket closed, sine bracket ACD bracket closed. The C has this arrow thing on it. I'm gonna say this part again. Area equals 1/2 bracket AB bracket BC bracket sine ABC plus 1 over 2 AC CD sine ACD. Below it, write equals 1 over 2 bracket 210 bracket closed bracket 90 bracket closed sine 70 degrees plus 1 over 2 bracket 198 bracket closed bracket 130 bracket closed sine bracket 35.6 degrees bracket closed I'm gonna repeat it again. 1 over 2 times 210 times 90 times sine 70 plus 1 over 2 times 198 times 130 times sine 35.6 degrees. Below it, write wiggly line equal thing. 16400 meters squared. 16400 meters squared. Next to it, write by using GDC. Part D. Okay, what you're gonna do on the graph thingy that's already given the shape. You see the point D with the angle of 105. Cut that in half and bring it to the down of the triangle and write like a right angle triangle symbol on it, like the quarter square. Just bring it down, right? And then, okay, so now for part D, you're gonna write sine bracket ACD bracket closed. The C has the arrow equals DE over CD. So sine ACD equals DE over CD. Below it, you're going to write sine bracket 35.6 degrees bracket closed equals DE over 130. Then you're going to write DE wiggly equal sign 75.7 meters. Next to it, write by using GDC. So DE wiggly line equals 75.7. Okay, now the last one. E. It says they're using a Pythagorean theorem to find CE. Okay, you're gonna write CD squared equals. So CD squared equals CE squared plus DE squared. CE squared plus DE squared. Under it, you're going to write 130 squared equals CE squared plus 75.7 squared. Below it, you're going to write CE wiggly line equals 106 meters. Next to it, write by using GDC. And then below it, you're going to write 130 plus 75.7 plus 106 wiggly line equals to 312 meters. 130 plus 75.7 plus 106. Wiggly line equals 312 meters. Okay. The next question is question 7. Sport for F8 is fitness nutrition company selling products such as vitamin, protein supplementation, and amino acids. Part A, it says write down the null hypothesis. You're gonna write capital H. Oh, this is for part 1, right? Capital H, and kind of like below it, you're gonna write like a little 0. So like next to it, below it. Then write a colon. P1 equals 0.3. And then P2 equals 0.1. P3 equals 0.3. P4 equals 0.2. P5 equals 0.1. Now part 2. It says write down the number of degrees of freedom. You're gonna write df, like small letters, df equals k minus 1. df equals k minus 1. Below it, you're gonna write df equals 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. Now, go to B. It says calculate the p-value. You're gonna write p-value, wiggly equal line, (0.0129). P-value equals 0.0129. Okay, now part C. You're gonna write, since p-value equals 0.0129. Okay, now you're gonna draw like, that equal sign thingy. This time, the two angle thingies, the two things that it has, is gonna point to the right side. And next to it, write 0.05, then comma. So let me say that again. Since p-value equals 0.0129 less than 0.05, comma, we reject capital H, and below it write 0, right? So we reject HO or H0 in favor of H1 at a 5% level of significance. So we reject H0 in favor of H1 at a 5% level of significance. Full stop. There is sufficient evidence to conclude that the advertising effectiveness is inconsistent inconsistent with the budget distribution on advertising. Hence, the company should change its budget distribution. Or perhaps allocate more budget to the media type that yields out of proportion results. I'm going to read the whole thing again. Since p-value equals 0.0129 is less than 0.05, we reject HO in favor of H1 at 5% level of significance. So there is sufficient evidence to conclude that the advertising effectiveness is inconsistent with the budget distribution on advertising. Hence, the company should change its budget distribution or perhaps allocate more budget to the media type that yields out of proportion results. Okay, the next one, question 8. Okay. This may look kind of hard, but it's fine, don't worry. Okay? Okay, for part A, you're gonna write small m and kind of below it, but next to it, capital CE equals no, actually scratch that. Just write m equals and then draw the fractional line. So on top y2 minus y1, below x2 minus x1, the gradient formula. Okay, equals, and then below it, right, equals 11 minus 7. This is on top, okay, 11 minus 7. Below it is 13 minus 7. Equals 2 over 3. Okay. Now what you're gonna write, what you're technically supposed to draw on you see question B, right? Above it, there's a graph thing. You're gonna draw something there, okay? Okay, can you see 12 on the y-axis? 12. Mark the intersection just with 1 point of 8. So 8 for x-axis, 12 for y. Okay, from there, just dash it down. Like dash it in a downward slope to the right, basically. And then you're gonna write this little m, capital L next to it, but under it, equals negative 1 fraction MCE. The MCE bjarke. So you're gonna write, and below it, write equals negative 3 over 2. below it, you're gonna write M, capital M, then next to it, under a CE, equals, bracket. Draw a fractional line, not too big but not too small. On top, write x1 plus x2. Below, write 2. And then comma, another fractional line, y1 plus y2. Below, write 2. Bracket closed. Okay, now what you're gonna write is, below you're gonna write equals, bracket, draw the two fractional lines again, and then draw a comma in between them. First one on top is gonna be 13 plus 12. 13 plus 7. Below it is 12. 2. Let me say that again. 13 plus 7. Below is 2. The other one, 7 plus 11. Below is 2. You're gonna write below it, you're gonna write equals, bracket, 10, 9. Okay, now again you're still gonna write 9 equals negative 3 over 2, bracket, 10, bracket closed, plus C. 9 equals negative 3 over 2, bracket 10, plus C. Below you're going to write C equals 9 plus 15 equals 24. So C plus equals 9 plus 15 equals 24. Therefore, below it, you're going to write y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 24. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 24. And then below it, you're going to write 3x plus 2y minus 48 equals 0. 3x plus 2y minus 48 equals 0. Okay, so for C, you're going to write every point within the cell containing site C is closer to the feeding rack at site C than any other feeding rack. I'm going to say it again. Every point within the cell containing site C is closer to the feeding rack at site C than any other feeding rack. Question 9. Rain is filling an empty water reservoir at the rate of R liters per minute. Okay. Okay, basically what you're just going to write for part A, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Below, you're going to write capital V equals, you're going to draw like this F symbol, but without the line of F. It's like a fancy type of line thingy. On the top part, write 60. On the bottom, write 0. Next to it, write t over 5. Next to it, write dt. Below, write in a square type of bracket 1 over 5 bracket 1 over 2 t squared bracket closed. And then the square bracket closed as well. And on the square bracket, when it closes, the top part, you're going to write 60. The bottom, you're going to write 0. And then you're going to write, below you're going to write 0 equals 1 over 10. Bracket 60 squared minus 0 squared, bracket closed. 1 over 10, 60 squared minus 0 squared. Below write equals 360 liters. 360 liters. Okay, for B, you're going to do capital V equals the fancy F thingy. On top, you're going to write M. Below, you're going to write O, or is that 0? I don't know. Yeah, 0. Next to it, write T over 5. And then dt. Below write equals square bracket 1 over 5 bracket 1 over 2 t squared. Bracket closed, and then the big bracket square thingy closed. The top part of the closing bracket, you're gonna write small letter m. The other below it, you're gonna write 0. And then below, you're gonna write 1 over 10 bracket m squared minus 0 squared bracket. So 1 over 10 bracket m squared minus 0 squared bracket closed equals 1 over 10 m squared, and then in bracket you're gonna write L, capital L, bracket closed.